Will this be the year when other conferences and teams make it to the championship? So this question is actually from John Neff on Facebook. FCS football last year, Montana and South Dakota State played in the national championship. 2022, you had North Dakota State and South Dakota State in the national championship. 2021, you had Montana State, North Dakota State in the national championship. 2020, you had Sam Houston and South Dakota State in the national championship. Or 2021 spring. And then 2019, you had James Madison and North Dakota State in the national championship. So, I mean, if you see the pattern here, it's North Dakota State, South Dakota State, South Dakota State, and, a Big Sky school, Sam Houston. There's usually one of the states, the North Dakota or South Dakota states in there, and another school. Will this be the year that other teams win other conferences and or teams make the championship? So let's think about what I just said. What Sam Houston was in the Southland, I believe, or Big South. I think they were Southland. So Southland has made it in let's say the last 5 years. Big Sky has made it in the last 5 years. Missouri Valley has made it in the last 5 years into the CAA. So that's 4 conferences. I think the FCS is 13 conferences, 12 or 13 conferences. Man, I don't know. I don't know if this is the year. I mean, who's going to step up? Is Furman going to be the team to step up in what are they? Gosh, Southland? What conference is Furman in? I think they're in the Southland. Or Big South, one of those two. But, I mean, somebody's got to dethrone the 2 top guys. Furman had a chance to not the 2 top guys because Montana hasn't won a national championship, so let me clarify that for everybody out here. But the 2 top guys being, the 2 that finished this year, Montana or South Dakota State, or the 2 top guys that have been the top for some time, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. Somebody's got to dethrone some of these guys who make it to the national championship every year. Like Furman had an opportunity to dethrone Montana. They weren't able to do it. There was teams that had an opportunity to dethrone North Dakota State. They weren't able to do it. Montana State could have dethroned North Dakota State. They lost. Montana was able to dethrone North Dakota State. They weren't able to dethrone South Dakota State. I mean, you see the same teams every year. Some CAA teams are going to make it. Some Big Sky teams are going to make it. Some Missouri Valley teams are going to make it. And it's going to come down to probably the CAA, Big Sky, and Missouri Valley, one of those 3 conferences. That's just how I've seen it during my time. I think some teams can make it. Like we saw Sam Houston over the COVID year make it. And I don't think they were usually one of the teams who were towards the top of the FCS. But, they caught fire during the COVID year and were able to win a national championship. Good for them. But just thinking about the landscape of FCS football, I can't really see anybody outside of the MVC right now. Just as it sits right now, I don't really see anybody outside of the MVC or Big Sky making it to being able to compete, because I just see the Big Sky and Missouri Valley. I just feel like in totality as conferences, especially the MVC, they're just so ahead of the competition. Like if you just look at the amount of recruits, the recruiting, the talent that is willing to come and play for those schools. I mean, you want to play somewhere where you're going to win. And when you look at some of these conferences, I know they have great history within the FCS division, but when you look at as of late in the last 10 to 15 years, a lot of these conferences haven't really been super successful. So I don't know Jeff. Or John Neff. I put the names together. I don't know John. I don't know if we'll see other conferences or teams make it to the championship this year. I don't know if that's going to be something that we're going to be able to witness just because of the dominance of the Big Sky and the Missouri Valley. Now, I have stated this year that I think it could be a down year for the Big Sky. I may be wrong about that, but I could see the Big Sky having a down year this year. I could see the Missouri Valley really having a down year too. I mean, the conferences, that's the thing about the Missouri Valley and the Big Sky as well. The Big Sky, I think, fields 12 or 13 teams. The Missouri Valley, I think, fields 12 or 13 teams as well. The conferences are so big. There's so many opportunities for a team to make it out of those conferences because they're so big. That might also be a reason why those conferences have been so dominant over the years. But, I mean, man, no. To answer your question, John, no. I don't see any other conferences winning the national championship this year, or when conferences and or teams make it to the championship. Well, I don't see it happening, but I will say this is kind of a hard question to answer because, it's so hard to tell right now. All you're really basing it off of is their last year's performance and what you think they will do this year. So it's kind of hard to judge, but I don't think, and I don't really see any other conferences. I think, and I'm going to go, this is freaking early March right now, and I'm gonna say that there's probably gonna be a Big Sky or Missouri Valley team that's gonna win the national championship. Book it, book it. I'll stand on that, and if I'm wrong, please come talk to me. But I hope I'm wrong, so you guys can make me feel dumb. But I don't see another conference making or winning the national championship this year in 2024. And we will see how it plays out. But I see a Missouri Valley or Big Sky team making it. You guys let me know in the comments what you think about that. I'm sure some of you other conferences are not going to like that. But that's just how I feel, man. I'm sorry.